Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. I recently did a collaboration with High Vibration, who was once known as JonExArmy. If you're familiar with my channel and you've seen a few of my videos before, you're probably going to hear me just repeat everything you've heard already. But John has a lot of interesting things to say, and the video was for his channel, so luckily John's doing most of the talking in this video. So I'll share it with you now, and I hope you guys enjoy.
Damn, that dog. All right, first of all, I'd like to give an intro to your viewers. Thank you for having me on your channel, and I'm very excited to have you on TripWhip. I know my people are going to love this too. My name's JonExArmy. I was a conspiracy theory YouTuber, and then I had a great awakening with psychedelics, and my whole world changed, and I realized that focusing on the negativity in the world was enhancing it. So I've decided to change my whole life and try to focus on positivity and love and higher consciousness and self-enlightenment in hopes of actually doing some good in the world. So that's kind of my intro. My new channel is called High Vibration, and I still got the old thumbnail of JonExArmy on there, so you can find me. So all right, I wanna take the wheel here for a second. So first, let me say what I had done. I'm now a few months sober, completely sober. I'm actually trying to cut out caffeine of my life right now. I spoke with you a few months ago when I was deep in the research, and the reason I didn't push the connection to make a video with you, the reason I wasn't ready to come out and truly talk about the extent of my experiences on YouTube is because I was still researching, and I wanted to put the psychedelics behind me and kind of go natural and decompress for a while before I spoke about them. And I think now at this time, you know, I have almost 90 days sober from psychedelics, and I'm ready to talk about it. When I called you, I told you about frequencies. Did you ever have any time to check out the frequencies I was talking about? A couple of them. Did you?
I did. Oh, sorry, go on.
Did you see what I was trying to explain to you? Did you see?
Yes.
The change in visuals, the almost like opening a portal. Did you ever stick with the frequency long enough for the beans to manifest physically?
So I didn't have the time to try it on psychedelics. Like you, I'm not really exploring psychedelics that much these days. I do it every now and then, but I'm in kind of that integration phase. But I tried it on I have an ajna light at work, so basically like light therapy. And that's when I use the track, and that goes hand in hand as well, of course, like high vibration music and light. And it was wicked. It was very wicked.
Where do I get a light like that? So that's like what, like a sober light that induces the trance state? Dude,
yeah.
Before we're done, you got to show it to me. I want one, dude. Like for real.
I will, yeah. They're expensive, or at least expensive for me, but they're dope as hell. But yeah, basically it was unusual. Now, obviously, you know, I can't say if it's my expectations or if it's the light itself that set it up, obviously, but I'll tell you what I experienced. I set myself underneath this light, put on this high vibration track. I can't remember exactly what it was called, but as soon as it started kicking in, I was just feeling good, kind of feeling into it, and then I let my thoughts just go, and it was very easy for my thoughts to just go away, which always induces a good trip for me when my thoughts are not like strongly present. And that's when I just saw this like image before me, which was really difficult to comprehend. Like I can't really explain it because while I was looking at it, I couldn't even understand it. So I was like, fuck it, like I just give up, let it just like, I'm not gonna try and comprehend this. And man, it took me into my mind in such a strange way. Like I was seeing sub-personalities. Like Jordan, like I call it like different energy frequencies we're picking up from the stars. Jordan Peterson, the psychologist, he likes to refer to it as like, what's that?
Let me jump in on the archetype thing. Let me freaking jump in because I'm probably going to title my video, The DMT Entities, You've All Got It Wrong. Listen, I understand what archetypes are. And let me back up for 1 second. When I say I was doing psychedelic research, for about a 2-month period, I was going an hour away from home every day. I was taking a high dose of psilocybin or a high dose of DMT. And I understand that the DMT entities, psychologists say, they're archetypes. They're personality characteristics that fit into a certain archetype, and they're in our mind, they're in our subconscious, and they come forward during the trip. And I'm saying, I'll agree with that. That might be right. Probably some of the beings I have encountered were created in my mind. I understand that, and I get that. But here's where the research changes completely. There was a group of us. Now, every day, we would go to separate places in the house. We would use separate frequencies, and we would be by ourselves. We wouldn't share information with each other. And we would induce trance states with psychedelics and frequencies. Now, each frequency would bring a different being, and it was repeatable. So, for example, if you just take psychedelics just to take psychedelics and get high, you're going to get high, you're going to meet some entities that are probably archetypes. If you take psychedelics and meditate in a holistic way, and you use certain frequencies, you can get repeatable, specific results. So like, for example, the DMT archetypes go out the window. Here's a great example. My favorite frequency is 963 hertz, I want to say. It's either 936 or 963. It's kind of stereotype the God frequency. That frequency, if someone is to meditate with psychedelics and listen to that frequency, 963 hertz, most of the time they will start to see Egyptian motif in the room. Signs, symbols, hieroglyphics, maybe Anubis or Thoth on the wall. When they meet a being on that frequency with that meditation, they are going to meet what we call, which may be wrong, what we call the Anunnaki. They are going to meet Egyptian deities. If you do 432 hertz with meditation and psychedelics, and you have a breakthrough on that frequency, you are going to meet a light being, a being that's vibration is so high, it's just light. And it's going to teach you things that, unless those things are encoded or embedded in your DNA, you didn't know. Another popular one is the Kundalini frequency, which is like, it's usually about 12,000 hertz. On that frequency, with meditation and psychedelics, if you have a breakthrough, you are going to feel the Kundalini rise through your body, your third eye will open, and the breakthrough connects you to the cosmic consciousness. You will literally be working on your inner soul. At first, the Kundalini frequency, it took weeks to decide if this was an energy from outside us or if we were channeling our inner light, our inner godliness. So the thing we learned about the frequencies are, yes, along the way, there's archetype beings that you meet that are probably created in your mind. But we have literally jotted down about 30 frequencies that for the majority of the time, without planting anything in someone's subconscious mind, like, hey, you're going to see a wise serpent today, or you're going to see a dragon today, without giving people any information about what they're about to experience, we would have them meditate. And when I say people, I'm talking about a close group of friends who do it anyway. We would have them meditate to the frequency and jot down what they see. Not only is are the entities repeatable on those frequencies, the visuals you get during the psychedelic trip are repeatable based on the frequencies you're listening to. So, for example, 963 hertz is a serpentine, symbol. You can see, like, as soon as you turn on the 963 hertz, within a few minutes, you'll see a serpentine symbol. And as you focus on that, it brings you closer and closer to a breakthrough. Now, where that led us was to these Indian yogis. Sadhguru is an Indian yogi, and
I know Sadhguru.
He speaks a lot of different dimensions. The universe is an amalgamation of sounds, and if you pay enough attention to one thing, you can unlock all its secrets. His chants, we've done his chants also. Now he has a chant where he teaches you to snort in through one nostril and say Shamba on the exhale, and you do that. He is literally creating a certain frequency of sound, and he teaches people to do it also. Anybody who does that Sadhguru chant with meditation and psychedelics, they are going to bring into their area a translucent being. I'm thinking the gentle version of Shiva, and snakes will be everywhere. And the more still you sit, the serpents will move and crawl over you. They're Shiva's serpents. Now, in America, Americans have been taught that serpents are evil. That is only here in America. The whole rest of the world, serpents are known as guardians of wisdom. They're known to, if you believe in God, they're known to guard the throne of God. They are the holiest of holy creatures. Even Quetzalcoatl, the flying serpent, a lot of people here in America are saying that that's evil, it's the devil, it's a fallen angel. I don't believe it. I think that things like Quetzalcoatl, the cherubim, they are the holiest energies in our world, and they're wise serpents. So, anyway, the DMT is a complete another dimension. And when you take a high dose of DMT, you're gone. Your body doesn't exist. Your mind is somewhere else. But there's a distinct difference between visions and entities. A lot of people have visions and believe that they're entities. For example, one of my visions is the most beautiful green grass, the most beautiful blue cloudy skies, and a little girl and a mother who I don't know. And the little girl, time after time, will bring me flowers, gifts, baskets, and she tries to give them to me. And I'm, thank you, and I'm symbolically taking these blessings and these gifts. But then the entities will come, and they will take the gifts before literally, I'm trying to do some psychic things and pull the gifts. Like, I'm getting them from over here. I'm trying to pull those blessings into my mind's eye, into reality. Not that I will physically hold them, but I'm trying to pull those spiritual blessings. Sometimes the beings intervene and will not allow me. They will take them, and I'm like, hey, give me my blessings. Have you had any experiences with visions or beings trying to give you anything?
Well, you see, the things that they give are, it's wisdom. It's like knowledge. It's like, and it's powerful. There is a big difference between envisioning a being who manifests itself as like showing all the positive thoughts you have, and then encompassing like a whole new being, which is like, yo, this is what's really going on. And it rocks you because it's so beyond what you previously understood, but it makes so much more sense than what you previously understood. This has happened to me. This is the entities I refer to as the machine elves. These are the entities that have passed on the most positive message. The thing with the frequency thing is, I think that I touched on this once with you before. I think that a lot of us talk about the Akashic records and having records of or libraries stored within our DNA, and I think this may possibly be true, but I also believe that our intelligence is in a very big way a product of the stars, and so we are literally being combed by light. Like there was a study done with, there's been a few studies done studying the way light works.
Light is photons of frequency and vibration, and the photons contain information. Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Right. No, and that's exactly right. And like this guy, I think his name was Peter Garriev, although he's not the only one. There's been a few guys who've done this, but Peter Garriev specifically, like, had a salamander embryo, shown a laser through, this is a big simplification of it, he's shown to laser through this salamander embryo and then into a frog embryo. The laser was able to encode itself with the salamander embryo's like information, and so it literally transformed this frog embryo into a salamander embryo.
Wow. Which is insane.
Just the light information, just the photons and the light.
Right. So I think we are literally being combed by light. Our genetic information is actually being like mutated, transformed, and evolving in like through the workings of light. So sometimes when we get in touch with different frequencies, because there's a whole spectrum of light, we can actually start tuning into the different information that light is encoded with. Now, of course, we have like something in our brain that identifies entities. So, you know, like I look at you, I see another person. But that's not necessarily like the objective nature of reality. Who knows? But like, however our brain works, we take that in with us when we experience these different frequencies of light. Because even though it's sound that gets us there, I think sound kind of wires our brain in a way. Like if you imagine us being like this giant radio antenna or a receiver, the sound then tunes us differently to receive different information from this light. And then we have like a part of our brain that identifies different entities, and then we see different entities from this information, or we see this information represented by different entities. Dark entities, sometimes positive entities, but that's why it's consistent. That's why if you tune yourself in with this like sound, it plugs you in, so you become a signal to receive genuine intelligence that's through the cosmos. And of course, light is older than what we realize. This is talking about beyond trillions of years old. This is the beginning of time. That's where this information started from. That's the information we have access to. It's in contact with all different foreign planetary systems and all the rest of it. That's what we're getting in touch with. That's why when you have these really deep DMT trips, which just seem more intense than what we should be capable of experiencing, it's because we're getting in touch with this information that's beyond our physical bodies.
Yeah, and here's where I want to see real scientific research. I want to stress this point again. For all the people who are writing off DMT entities as archetypes, I agree. You're correct. I've experienced beings that I have written off as archetypes in my mind, and I understand why they are. But this right here is this should change the culture, what I'm about to say. With frequencies like the ones I spoke of earlier, the beings are repeatable to different people with no advanced knowledge. So if you take someone who does psychedelics and meditates, meditation's part of the key, and you put them on a frequency, they will, if they have a breakthrough, come in contact with, we'll say, a serpentine being, or an angel, or an Anunnaki, and you can do it day after day, week after week, with different people with no advanced knowledge. Why are they all seeing the same entity with no advanced knowledge? They're taking notes where we lay out the sheets of paper, and it's exactly the freaking same. And I've been wanting to come forward with all this, but I wanted to give it time to digest. And what I'm doing now, I'm talking to the Infinite Cup on YouTube. This dude was right where we were at. He had a great awakening with psychedelics. Dude, he is doing it now sober through meditation, veganism, yoga, proper breathing techniques, connecting with the earth. He is able to get in these psychedelic deep meditative states we're speaking of. He's doing it sober. And a lot of people are. A lot of people are. So right now, my goal for self-enlightenment over the next 10 years is I want to eat the proper foods, meditate, do yoga, breathing the proper way, have the proper things in my diet, detox my body from fluoride and harmful chemicals and compulsions, because I want to be able to sit outside and do breath work and have these similar types of experiences. Have you noticed, like right now, if you close your eyes, can you see anything? Because most people can only see blackness.
I mean, I see like a bit of static or something like that, or like some, but mostly blackness, mostly darkness.
So since these high doses, I can close my eyes and I can see a little point of light that was never there before. Like, say somebody who's not eating right, who's not meditating, never done psychedelics, they close their eyes. And I'll tell you what that static is here in a second too. That static means you need to stop and you need to get healthy right now. I'll tell you what that static means in a minute.
All right, we'll get into that, yeah.
Well, what I think it means, I don't know. You know, this is my guess. Sure. So anyway, since the psychedelics, they have blown open my mind, activated my pineal gland. I'm able to close my eyes and see a little point of light, like a faint orange light. And if I focus on it, it'll start to turn purple and spin and get bigger and bigger. I'm able to sit and meditate and close my eyes and focus on that light until I get into a state of higher consciousness. I won't say it's like being on psychedelics, but it's like that blissful, you know, when you connect to your higher self and you're all-knowing, you have all the answers during a breakthrough. It's similar to that. Our bodies, our minds, I don't know how much you know about the pineal gland, but the pineal gland is made up of tiny micron crystals. And crystals operate at a high frequency which traps photons of light, traps information. Have you ever messed with a crystal like this on psychedelics?
Yeah, well, not psychedelics, no. No, I haven't.
So here's how I know, for everybody who thinks crystals are mumbo jumbo, 2 months, 3 months ago, I would have laughed at somebody who bought a crystal or tried to tell me this had some type of energy in it. I would have literally made fun of them. I have about 60 crystals around this room right now. And I have taken my crystals with me up to my buddy's house for these journeys, okay? Now tell me why, out of 60 crystals, only about 3 of them actually do anything. And here's what I mean. This crystal looks just like it looks, right? It doesn't matter who it is. If someone takes psychedelics and they look at this crystal, they're going to see a light energy in the bottom of it that's radiating out of the top. So if crystals were mumbo jumbo, how come all my crystals don't change under the influence of psychedelics? How come only a few do? Does that mean only a few are legit? Because I don't know what it means. All I know is no matter who you are, out of 5 or 6 people I've been around that have taken psychedelics, this crystal, the other ones don't, but this one glows inside and energy starts to radiate and you can see light coming out of the top of it, but only on psychedelics. Now,
so did you experience that before you passed, like before you shared it with other people to test it out?
Yeah, it blew my mind. My buddy told me, get a crystal, bring a crystal with you, and I got the biggest, best crystal I could find. And when I broke through into this higher conscious state where I was literally, I'd connected my mind, body, and soul, and I was able to feel that we are infinite beings, that I have been around forever, that I was able to tap into my higher self. While I was there, he said, now touch your crystal. And I looked over and the crystal was completely different, but the rest weren't. I have other clear crystals and they were still just clear. This was like fluorescent, and it looked like almost an embryo inside here. And he said, touch it. And I touched it, and light came up through the crystal, and like a colorful aura slowly ran up my arm. So now, I'm all about crystals, and it's from that. And so we threw that in the frequency research. We had other people do it. We'd bring the crystal into the room and say, "What do you see?" Well, it's glowing. So, some people called it an embryo. Some called it an energy. Some said it's alive. Some said that it must be a fairy or a sprite inside it. But I'm telling you, this changes under, and we have two more that do it too. One glows green, and it'll transfer that green energy. If you're holding it, it'll transfer it up, and you can see it on psychedelics. Have you seen your aura yet, or your chakras on psychedelics?
Well, it's hard to say. I haven't seen it colored. Kind of.
It's clear. It's translucent usually on psychedelics.
White, like I see it as white light.
Yeah. So what you just told me about the static,
right?
When I a few months ago, when I did a high dose of DMT, left my body, I know that my spirit, my inner light went to another dimension, although my body stayed here. Because our mind, our consciousness is multidimensional. And that's the big secret that's been hidden from humanity. Now, when I came back from that experience and took shrooms because I wanted to see my chakras and my auras. And when you take shrooms and meditate, the visuals, you are projecting them from your crown chakra. So after a DMT trip, the chakras, at first I'd call it just what you did before I knew what it was. I'd call it static. Static. I close my eyes, I see static. On shrooms, you'd see this staticness around you. It's because you have spent your spiritual power. It is spent. Your aura, whatever you want to call it. Your chakras, they're like literally spraying static. They are not healthy because the psychedelics take a toll on you spiritually. And this is why I quit and went the natural route. I did that DMT a few times. I left my body. I came back and did mushrooms so that I could see my aura. And my chakra centers, my energy points, 3 of them to be exact. I've never seen all 7. But specifically this one in the stomach was misting, almost like a pink static. And no matter what frequency I went on, nothing would, none of the symbols would be able to take shape from my essence, from my spiritual power. And I knew what it was. I had literally astral traveled to another dimension with my spirit, with my consciousness, whatever it is. And I came back, and it takes time to heal. And it takes time to regain that spiritual energy. And I'm like, okay, this isn't the way. Like the psychedelics were great. They changed my life. I had a great awakening. And now I am going to attempt to do these things sober through diet and meditation. Right. Sorry, I saw you wanted to say something.
Well, I mean, firstly, I'm myself as well wanting to do sober integration. Like for a long time I've liked the idea of psychedelics because it's like a package experience of like, okay, I can take this and now I can go into my third eye. But I noticed like as I started off in really high doses and then I got smaller doses and I got smaller doses and then I went from DMT to LSD, from LSD to mushrooms and from mushrooms to weed. And what I noticed that even on the weed itself, I'm having like a DMT experience now, which like a couple of years back, absolutely impossible. So it's not just the chemical itself, it's like how open is your brain. So if it's not just the chemical itself, then it should stand to reason that if I sit down and meditate, I should be able to get there as well. But for some reason, I've created a blockage there and I'm not sure why. But onto the static thing. I have interpreted the static thing a little bit differently because I had an experience a couple of years back, I think it was, on I think it was LSD, or maybe it was DOB. It was like a psychedelic amphetamine or something like that. Basically, I was like meditating. It was very intense, and I started seeing the closed-eyed visuals come, washing over me, and then I zoomed in on the closed-eyed visuals, and it was very like it was electric. And like I remember coming up to one of them and it seemed like, if you zoom up on a TV and you see like the little bit that's creating the light, it seemed like I hopped into there and then that was like an entire reality. So I was like, well, it could be that our vision is actually like electric or something like that, because I was talking about the starlight before. That's actually electromagnetic waves. That's electromagnetic energy. So it's like, that's what I always penned it down to, was that vision, the thing that is picking up light, is electric because of light converting itself to electrical signals in our brain.
Yeah, and to further, and you might be right. I'm not sure, because when you mentioned that, when you just said that, the Kundalini, are you familiar with the Kundalini?
Yeah.
When you put on a Kundalini frequency, when your Kundalini's rising, it's static up in the room. And
right.
That's what people see, and time after time, it's the same visuals with the Kundalini frequency. So, yeah, I mean, you might be right. That might be your energy, like you were saying. What's so amazing is they say that the human spectrum, what we are able to perceive, is like 5% of reality. What we can see, touch, taste, hear, and smell is 5% of what's actually in this room. Take Wi-Fi signals, for example. They are not, you can't see them, but I have Wi-Fi signals right now bouncing around this room. When you take psychedelics, it's almost like part of the filter is removed and your vision is expanded, and you're able to see just a fraction more, which would be energy, chakras, I don't know, well, I'll just make something up. Fluorescent light, the spirit world, other dimensions. Here's something else. These are called Egyptian healing rods, right? And I didn't buy them to heal. The people who I was working with, they use Egyptian healing rods to stabilize dimensional portals in their mind. So, for example, they would put on a frequency, and it's called hemisync, and you can Google that. You could go to the CIA declassified library and type in hemisync on the CIA's website. In the 50s, they were using sounds to sync hemispheres of the brain, and the reason is it would induce a trance-like state. And I think they learned you can peer into other dimensions depending on the frequency you sync your mind to. And so they will take psychedelics and they will play a certain frequency of a dimension they want to learn in. And they swear that by squeezing these, somehow it works with our body's energy to stabilize the portal, to remain. For example, that when they would use frequency and these, a DMT trip that would have normally been like 5 minutes would end up being 30 or 45. They would be eyes open, though they would be in a different place, although they thought they were here. So these things are freaking amazing. DMT does something. It takes you either to past lives, or maybe it unlocks the DNA from your ancestors. Dude, for the world to write it off is a huge failure. Like
it can have like, oh, sorry, go on.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
It can have like serious benefits as well. My brother just did DMT for the first time recently. His life has been flipped upside down. I mean, he was in prison for quite a while. He was on a bad path.
And
I watched your video where I saw your brother had went into rehab for, was it amphetamines?
Yeah, methamphetamine, man.
Dude, he might be healed from that DMT experience.
Dude, he's like, I've never seen him like this before. It's absolutely insane, the transformation. Because he got in touch with like this genuine love frequency. For the first time, he realized, oh, it's real. It's actually worth believing in. It's actually worth acting on. And now he's just like, I mean, he used to be somebody who I was a little bit afraid to be honest around as well, because he had some aggression and stuff. I can say whatever I want to him now, man. Like, it's a totally different person I'm interacting with these days. DMT is just something that is just not explored enough. It's like, for me, I think about the way it opens it up is like, you know, like if you think like a tree or something like that, which we're like clipping, or like a little bonsai, and we're like kind of like structuring it a certain way, and you know, making it kind of move in the way we want it to. But it has no idea. It feels like pain. Like imagine it could feel pain or something. Imagine it could have thoughts and things like that. Every now and then it would feel like, ah, my arm just hurt. Right, so now I have to move it this way, and it's like exploring this blindly throughout the reality. Smokes DMT and all of a sudden grows eyes and sees that there's these beings that are clipping its branches and making it structured in a way. It's like, what the hell? It's like reality is not what I realized. There are actually beings around me who are sculpting me to be a certain way, and it's totally different to what it would assume because of its limited senses. Absolutely what's going on with us. We take DMT, we break past the
program
identity,
not to be
the
able
programming.
to see.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what DMT does. That's why it's so valuable. But also, like, it's a pretty powerful thing for that to happen. And if you're not ready, it's worth being a little bit cautious.
Yeah, 100%. I have heard that if you have like heart problems or you're on certain medications, it can be lethal to the respiratory system and the heart. Now, don't crucify me for you guys who love DMT, because you have to do that research. I just want people to know, like what you said, it is so powerful that if you're not ready for it, it could probably do a lot of harm to a person. If you're not looking for a huge life change, if you're not healthy, I would definitely stay far away from it.
Yep.
Something else I wanted to talk about, the love. That's what it is, dude. It's an infinite love. When I go there, dude, negative experiences don't happen because I know that I need to be at a high frequency, a high vibration. I need to be all love. And when you're all love, no negative entities or spirits or demons can really come into you. And if you know how to handle them, when you begin to have a negative experience, dude, you have to stop and you have to find love and truth, and poof, negativity can't exist. So here's a question I ask everybody. Have you ever had, and there's a few different ways to word this. It could be called the Kundalini rises, opens the third eye, connects to higher consciousness, and you see the light. Or it could be you take such a high dose that unknowingly your Kundalini rose. Have you ever had the center of your head, like a triangle, get super hot and have light shine down on your face and give you a sunburn for the next day or two? Have you ever experienced that?
Sunburn, I can't say so. I've had interactions with white light which have been pure love, absolutely life-changing. Obviously there was the DMT. There was also another psychedelic I took, not as powerful as DMT, but DMT one was totally all-encompassing. That was when I started to trip. And I started, it was the first time doing a high dose of DMT. The only time I'd ever done it before that was like a really small amount where I barely felt it. So this one was just like, okay, I want to have the breakthrough. So I smoked all the DMT I had in like 2 puffs really fast. And it was just blasting off. My atoms ripping at its seams everywhere. My whole body sensations just flowing all over the room. I was like, holy crap, this is scary as hell. And next thing, I had a thought that just came into my head and it was like, listen, you knew it was going to be like this. Just
concentrate on what you're being told.
That's the exact moment. Because when I had that, it was like, if I don't relax and allow this to happen right now, this is not going to happen. And as soon as I relaxed,
light. Yeah. That's exactly the same thing.
That is your light. I don't know if you know that. That is your inner light. That is your spark of divinity given to you by whoever the creator of this universe is, whether it's God or a cosmic consciousness. That is your divinity. Do you know how to charge that light?
I don't know. I don't know.
Check this out. I am not a doctor. This is not medical advice. Do not go do this. But I've heard that if you moon gaze at night and if you sun gaze at sunrise, right when the it's not quite bright enough to hurt your vision, I've heard that charges the inner light, the crystalline pineal gland in your brain, And also another one is celibacy. Dude, if you're celibate, your energy transmutes to your inner light. So, for example, when you had those great moments that are probably far in between where you experience the light, that's also known as the 1,000-petal lotus. It's also known as the halo. How many throughout religion, how many people are depicted with a halo? Do you know why?
Right.
It's because they saw the 1,000-petal lotus. They saw their inner light. And so by you seeing that light, you're enlightened. Whether you know, even if you're not wise, even if you're not living right, you have seen the ultimate truth. You have seen your infinite inner light. You know now, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that you were alive before the flesh and that you're going to be alive after the flesh. You see what I'm saying? That truly is illumination, enlightenment, that you saw that light. Now, when I saw that light, I went further into it and I got some type of, explain this, computer code, ones and zeros downloaded into my mind. I have no idea.
I've had the ones and zeros. I've had the ones and zeros.
Downloaded to your brain? What is it, bro?
Yeah.
2 weeks before the white light experience. So the white light experience was on DMT. 2 weeks before that, on a very high dose of LSD, I was having the same beings that told me to calm down. They were like saying to me, we're going to take you inside and we're going to turn you into white light forever and ever. It's going to be the most intense thing you've ever gone through. And I was like, oh, I'm not sure if I'm ready. And I was like, can I bring my friend with me? And they were like, yep, sure, you can bring whoever you want. But I never went inside the house. Instead, I was kind of like tripping hard. I was actually running through the streets. And they were like, an ambulance ended up picking me up. While I was in the ambulance, yeah, I was like seeing 1010, and that's all I could say was 101010, over and over and over again. But I got a sense that in between this 1 and 0 was like this, which people always say it's like 0.5. It's like, no, I mean like beyond binary code, there was something else. There was transcendence or something like that. Then 2 weeks later, I had the DMT experience with my friend Aiden inside the house, turned into white light forever and ever, just as these voices had said would happen. It was freaking dope, man.
Yeah, so here's what I took away from mine. Dude, to me, that was, I connected to either Mother Earth or the cosmic consciousness or some extraterrestrial intelligence, and I connected, and I don't know. I have no idea. Everybody asked me, what were the ones and zeros? You got to write it down. You got to know. It wasn't something for me to remember and write down. It was like a connection has just been made. You are now plugged in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, what?
Dude, I like the ones and zeros are like the most like primal part of our psyche. I came to this like on my last trip actually. It was, I was meditating and it took me to this like, it just became nothingness basically. And then for whatever reason, I decided to reflect myself, or I just reflected myself. And I did this with light. Light was a perfect reflection of nothingness. So it was like nothingness was 0, light was 1. And then the thing with light was that because it was reflecting a thing that was reflecting itself inside light, it just kept infinitely reflecting itself. This is what duality is. Everything that exists, there's a perfect reflection of. So that's like we have to have like 0 and 1 is the nature of our reality now, because this was like the big bang for us. This is at the very, very deep part of our psyche. So if we can, did you get a sense that you could transcend it? Was that something happening when you were seeing it at all?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Dude,
right.
I got a sense that, dude, when that happened to me, I knew my life will never be the same again. Like, dude, that's step 1. You know what I mean? That's just the beginning. And the key, I can't stress enough, dude, these experiences that you're talking about, now, of course, some of what we're saying is hallucinogen. I don't think the whole everything's all 100%, you know what I mean? Some of it might be other dimensions of sound, frequency, light, information. Some of it might be our brain making things up. Some of it might be complete nonsense, and that's okay. But those little moments, those light downloads, those looking at your inner light, those connection points, those are what yogis go into caves for 30 years for. Do you see what I'm saying? For that download, for that connection, they'll go into a cave for 10 years and meditate and barely eat or drink to get that. So, dude, we have propelled forward towards enlightenment. Dude, the best thing you could do at this point is begin to have these experiences sober. Do you know how? Do you know how to do it?
I'm trying, but tell me, please.
For everybody watching, there are a few things. Spirulina is a supplement. It does something called chelation, chelation is the process of removing toxic heavy metals and compounds from the body. Spirulina is a plant-based pill that literally supposedly helps detox your pineal gland. Another one, I take all these. Another one is raw cacao. It's just unsweetened raw chocolate. You can chew it, you can get the powder. Raw cacao also does chelation of the body. It pulls out the heavy metals and the toxins. Distilled water, drinking jugs of distilled water for a few weeks, they pull the heavy metals and the minerals out. And a powerful one is harataki. It really helps clean the digestive tract. Harataki supplements. I get the pills because it tastes horrible, so I can just swallow 3 a day. Those 4 things, what they do is they help decalcify your pineal gland. They help get the fluoride and the heavy metals that are being poured upon us from the sky and from food. They help flush those out of your body so that your pineal gland begins to work the way it should. Now, those experiences we are having on psychedelics, I believe they all originate in the pineal gland, the third eye, the brain, the mind. The key to be able to connect to these, energies and our inner light and have these enlightenment experiences is to detox our mind and our body and our pineal gland with the supplements I just mentioned. Now, I don't sell those supplements, you know what I mean? I'm not making any money by telling you to do it. I'm literally telling you that's what I have in my house. Once you get these heavy metals and fluoride and these toxins out of your body, you can go sit outside and meditate and reach these states where you can take that point of light you see with your eyes closed, and you can make it so big that the light shines down on your face and your spiritual eyes can see it. Because, dude, that's the goal. There are tons of people who, like you and I, they started with psychedelics, and they have moved into breathing work to release DMT, meditation to release DMT. They're doing these things sober now. And that's the journey I'm on. So I keep stressing that because I want everyone to know I used the psychedelics as a way to shatter my mind, break reality. And that's what I needed. For me, meditation wouldn't have worked. I'm hyperactive. I'd sit there and be like, man, I don't feel nothing. What's going on? But the psychedelics showed me an unseen world that's all around me that I have been programmed to believe does not exist. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
We've been programmed that if we can't see it, it's not real. We've been programmed to believe that we're worthless humans. You know what I mean? The only thing we're good for is to eat, sleep, work, make babies, watch Netflix. Dude, we are multi-dimensional, third eye, conscious beings who are in eternity right now. The present moment. Have you found through your experiences that if you quiet the mind, the voice, the body, the breathing, the vision, that the closer you get into this exact present moment, the closer
Absolutely.
you get to God or the creator
Absolutely.
or the cosmic consciousness. Dude,
Yep.
people have been deceived. They've been deceived. They live in their thoughts. They live in the past and they live in the
Yeah.
future. And
Yep.
they forget about the present moment, and the present moment is where creation is happening. There is no past, there is no future. There is one long moment of eternity, and we are in it right now, in the flesh, in the physical form. Once you learn to beat the flesh, if there has to be a devil, the devil is my flesh. This is my weakness.
Right.
The fact that
Yes.
I eat, sleep, breathe, shit, sin, carnal, you know what I mean? The flesh is the prison. Sorry.
The devil is that. No, you're good. The devil is that, or he is the part of you that convinces you that the right now, eternal moment is not the truth. And it starts making you think about the future. It starts making you regret your past. Because it's like, this is why love is the truth. Because if you connect yourself to the immediate moment right now, what do you feel? You feel liberated. You feel like, okay, I'm fine. Nothing bad's happening. I'm G. All you ever experience in your life is the moment. Every idea of the future and of the past is had in the moment. Every experience in your life is the moment. That's the only thing that's real. If you're connected with the truth, you'd be connected with the only thing that's real. You'd be connected with the eternal moment. You would feel good. There'd be very few times where you'd feel bad, like 2 times a year when you're maybe breaking an arm or something like that and you're actually experiencing physical pain in the moment. Maybe then you feel bad, but otherwise you'd be fine. But this isn't society. This isn't how most of us think. Almost always we're geared to think about the future, to worry about the future, to stress and regret about the past. It's like these are things that, one, we can't control and we don't need to control because we are fine, because all we will ever experience is the best gift that we were given, the moment. Some reason we got lost. This is the white light. It is the moment. It is the now.
Dude, if the majority of the planet were to have an awakening, whether it's through diet and meditation or psychedelics, dude, Earth would turn into a time-traveling dimensional spaceship, and we would be able to blast off into interstellar space like it was nothing.
Yep.
There would be no wars. There would be no prisons. There would be no suffering. There would be no starving. There would be this whole world. There would be no monetary system. It would literally be heaven on earth. The way we are ruled and enslaved is the fact that we don't know we are eternal beings. We don't know that the power of our mind creates reality. We don't know that we can tap into our higher self and get information we need for our lives. Like, for example, a person who has tapped into their higher self and reached higher consciousness, they don't have to go on YouTube to learn something. You know what I'm saying? You personally, you don't have to look for some man to give you the answers of life. Dude, you fucking know. You've been there. You've tapped in with your higher self. You know the truth. Now, of course, if you need to learn something new, you go to somebody and learn it. But I'm talking about that you're not online searching for God and searching for direction and truth in life. You know, dude, you've tapped in already. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah, for sure, man. Absolutely. I fucking, I think, I don't know, there's conspiracies. It's like, is it the fact that if we all learnt the truth that the people at the top would lose their power? Like, that's a very popular notion, of course, where it's like, you know, in the 60s, everyone starts taking acid. We don't want to go to war, stuff that. We just want love. We just want to make love. We don't want to work. We just want to make love. They're like, whoa, we don't stay in power with this.
That's the most common thing.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Sorry. I do that a lot, my bad.
It's like, it could be the case, but I think people are afraid as well. I think there's a lot of fear evolving around what probably is our inevitable transformation. I think it is coming for us, this beautiful transformation. I feel it anyway. And
it's everywhere.
I think,
people think the world's ending and World War III is about to destroy everything, and I'm like, no, you guys are so far from the truth. Like, the awakening is speeding up so fast. In the next 10 to 20 years, you are going to see a much better place than this planet right now. Like, it is. Yeah. And here's what it is. Here's what it is. For thousands of years, they didn't want people to know about self-enlightenment. That's what you've done. You have been... Now, even I don't consider myself guru. I don't consider myself an enlightened, wisdom-filled being. I'm lost as much as the next person's lost. But sure. I have seen my inner light. I have seen my higher self. I have briefly touched enlightenment, as have you. That experience for thousands of years is what's been hidden. If you want to tap into your higher self for the past 1,000 years, you had to join a secret society. You had to be part of some elite group of people on the planet. And they got to show you how to do it, and they got to control you. You had to be part of their agenda. Do you see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. The cap has been on self-enlightenment. If you want enlightenment, you got to come to these secret societies, and you got to pay, and you got to be on board with our agenda, and you belong to us. That is what's changing. And I don't know I don't know if it has to do with psychedelics. I don't know if it has to do with Earth moving into a different frequency, because what science fact is the frequency of the Earth has changed in the past 10 years. Has changed. We are moving into a higher vibrational state. And with my channel, what I told people, this change that's happening, we're in the midst of it. It's supposed to like be in full swing by 2025. This change, if you are living in a fear-based mind state where you're afraid of the end of the world, where you're afraid of starving, you're afraid of World War III, you're afraid of God, because a lot of mainstream religion, they are in fear of God. I have been as close to God as a human can get, and it's all love. There ain't no, you can't get to God with fear in your heart. That, dude, what we just talked about, how'd you get to the inner light? How'd I get to the inner light? We both said it. We had to relax, let go of the fear, and once the fear was gone, we were able to be in the truth, the light. Absolutely. Dude, all these, when I came back from that experience, my heart hurt for mainstream religion, because I saw, oh my God, they fear God. They cannot get to God with fear in their heart. You can't. You have to be all love to be in the presence of all love. Dude, it's just, it has changed my life. 100%, bro. 100%. So as this change happens, these people that are focusing on the negative side of our reality, the Illuminati, the government, I'm not saying to ignore bad things. We all need to do our part to make the world a better place and protect the innocent. 100%. But what I'm saying is, when you focus on all that negative shit, you manifest it. So what I've done is I have changed my focus. I am going to focus on light and love and wisdom and self-enlightenment and truth. And that is how you make the ascension. Because as this change speeds up, those people living in a lower vibrational state, I don't know what's going to happen, but I know they're not going to like it. They're going to be unhappy and miserable. You know what I'm saying? And it's all, you have to change your focus. You focus on love and truth, and your life is full of blessings. Like right now, switching my channel from fear-based conspiracies to crystals and meditation and the vegan diet and higher consciousness. Dude, this shift, I'm broke. I'm not making any money on YouTube anymore, but that's okay. I was shown, dude, if you want to progress spiritually, you have to move away from the fear-based things. And that's what I did, and that's all I care about, is I want more moments where I can see my inner light, where I know the truth of all things. You know what I mean? I want to be that walking light of truth and wisdom. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Oh, I looked at your channel today, and like I was showing my friend your channel, and I went to the oldest like your videos that you uploaded first to try and find the conspiracy videos. I was like, where they've all gone? He's deleted them.
Gone.
I was like, wow.
Videos with millions of views.
Balls, man.
Millions of views gone. Money stopped, dude. My money has stopped.
Wow.
But that's okay. And listen, people don't get it. They're like, oh, JonExArmy's crazy. Oh, he's fake, an actor. No, I changed my life. My conspiracy theory buddy YouTubers were like, dude, don't do that. Don't do that, bro. Like, look, you're making thousands a month. Stick with what you're doing, and what you do in your personal life, keep personal. Do not switch the channel. I'm telling you, don't do it, John. And I'm like, man, if I don't switch the channel, I'm not gonna ever become enlightened. I want to be enlightened, man. I want love, truth, and wisdom. You know what I mean? So I gave it all away. The conspiracy theories, it's dead. The money, it's gone. If I have to get a job, hey, cool. I'll get a job. You know what I mean? I'm not tripping.
Dude.
I'm no better than anybody else.
I respect that. I really respect that, because that goes to show you really are connected with the truth. If you can actually detach yourself from what we regard as like one of the highest altruisms of our physical reality, money and fame, it's like you are really in touch with your inner self. And I'm impressed. But no, yeah, it's true, man. Like we are, I think this change will absolutely benefit you as well. And I think on the channel over time, no doubt. It's like there are lots of people who are connected to the truth of that. Hey, there is like, we understand that we are the makers of a reality. It's like there's I call it the multiverse, where we like, because if everything's just moments, it's like you have moments that are like representing good times, you have internal moments that are representing bad times, and you can tune into these different moments and then align it in a certain way, and then that's your life. You experience it as your life, right? So it's like, well, there's a reality out there where we transcend our physical plane, live awesomely, all the rest of it. There's a reality out there where World War III is lurking around the corner and all the bad crap is there. Which one are you going to tune into your reality? Which one are you going to draw in? And I think it's really important that we let people know that they have a little bit more power over their destiny than they realize.
But before we wrap up here, as this shift in consciousness continues to happen, those people living in the lower vibrational state, you're gonna see a separation, just an organic, you're gonna see people in that lower vibrational fear-based mind state. They're not going to have contact with people that know the truth, with people on the higher vibrations. You're going to see the change get wider and wider, to where there's one reality, one mind state where these fear-based people are living, and then there's this other great reality where people are happy and they love life and it's all love, and these other people, they're going to be looking like, how can they be happy? There's a war over here, the economy's crashing here. It's because we're living in a different reality. You know what I mean? Reality, just like what you said, you tune your mind to the reality you want, and that's what you get. If you tune your mind to money and gold, dude, your life is gonna manifest money and gold. If you tune your mind to God, you are going to know God and become godly. If you tune your mind to negativity, you're gonna have a bad life. If you tune your mind and body to love, you're gonna have a life full of love. We literally create the reality around us. Now, it's not boom, you get what you want. It's hard work and dedication. But if you can pick a goal, and you can focus on that goal, and you can live in that vibration, dude, you will get that life, whatever it is you're shooting for. You know what I mean?
Yep, I agree.
One more thing, because I know you're not doing this. Dude, you know how we talked about light and photons of light?
Sure.
So the sun shines light, which is photons, which contain information, which hit plants and grow. Right. If you eat the plants, you can get the information from the sun. Check it out. Your body decodes all the food you eat without you knowing. Your body breaks it down, processes the information contained in the food, and then creates new cells. You are what you eat. If you're eating animals, your body is decoding a primal, fear-based information. If you eat plants and raw fruits and vegetables as a main source of your diet, you are decoding photons of light. You are tapping in to Mother Nature. You are tapping in to the truth. So, dude, you can increase your enlightenment. You can bring about more of those moments when you see the bright light, when you connect to your higher self, just by cutting meat out of your diet and eating fresh fruits and vegetables that contain photons of information given to us from, like you mentioned, all these different vibrations and lights from the cosmos. Dude, those are interacting with our planet. And you can get information from fruits and vegetables, bro. I know that sounds...
How did you know I wasn't vegetarian?
Because you're young. Because you're tripping. You know what I mean? Because
yeah, I've been getting that message to go vegetarian. It's at the moment I don't eat beef or pork. It's birds, but like it's birds and fish. But it's kind of like a slow transition. It would then just be fish, and then hopefully it would just be vegetarian.
Well, now see, I'm no better than anybody. I guess I'm not. I call myself vegan, but I am taking fish liver cod oil supplements because they help chelation to remove the heavy metals and toxins from the pineal gland. So a lot of people will get mad if they hear me call myself vegan and then find out I'm taking a fish supplement. So I'm just keeping it real. I guess that means I'm only a vegetarian because I'm taking that fish oil. You know what I mean? But pescatarian. I think Is that? Oh, that's not even a vegetarian taking the fish oil.
Well, I don't know. Like, fish oil isn't like eating meat, so I don't know.
What's a vegetarian? Do they eat?
A vegetarian doesn't eat meat. Pescatarian is only allowed fish. They don't eat the other stuff.
My ego just got trampled because I'm taking fish oil pills. I'm not vegan or vegetarian, then, am I? Dang.
You're pretty much vegan. Like if you're just doing fish oil pills, I'm pretty sure you're vegan. Like yeah.
Well, dude, this was great having you on, man. I really, really appreciate it. We'll have to get in touch and do this again, man.
Yeah, it's great fun, bro. Great fun. And enjoy talking to you.
Listen, I'm telling you, bro, you can have the life of your dreams, whatever it is you want. Dude, you got to get away from the psychedelics for a little bit. I'm not saying they're bad. Dude, take all this freaking wisdom you've got right now and use it now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I'm telling you, because of what you've done, because of what I've done, I'm able to meditate now and know what I'm looking for, what I'm trying to achieve, where I'm trying to get. Those experiences we've had, you can have them sober once you know they exist. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Dude, you should do it, bro. Yeah. You should make it your goal to start having these experiences sober, man.
I've got to try. The next time you see me, I'll be like, yo, I just had the most insane sober meditation.
Hell yeah.
I'll try. Also, dream work is insane as well. I used to be into doing like lucid dream journals and crap. That stuff was starting to get super trippy too. That stuff's cool.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, thank you very much for coming on. I'm glad you had me on your show too. We got to do it again soon, man.
Absolutely, man. Thank you very much. Looking forward to talking to you either way.
All right, man. Have a good day.